Welcome to the Academy of Business Abroad channel. Are you not buying goods from India yet? Strange. After all, democratic India with a population of 1.5 billion people has a lot of natural resources, extremely fertile soil and a convenient geographical location at the crossroads of key trade routes of the planet, and one of the two official languages, English. And yet, unlike neighboring China, India, with an annual gross domestic product per capita of just over $2,000, is consistently among the poorest countries in the world. For comparison, GDP per capita in the United States is $64,000, in Germany $43,000. For an enterprising person, this state of affairs looks quite tempting. Thousands of Western companies every year try to penetrate the Indian market or take advantage of cheap labor to place their own production facilities. However, only a few succeed. Why? There are several reasons. I would label them as follows. 1. Regional and caste fragmentation. 2. Mentality. 3. Rituals and customs. 4. Bureaucracy. 5. Corruption. 6. Attitude towards foreigners. Let's look at each of these definitions in more detail. 1. Fragmentation. India looks united only on a map. It is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories, picture of states. In addition to the state languages English and Hindi, there are 447 languages and 2,000 local dialects used in the country. The laws of each state or union territory can be radically different from each other. Therefore, before embarking on any transaction, one should carefully evaluate the laws of a particular state, realizing that they may not work at all in any other state. Despite the savagery of such an approach for a Westerner, caste affiliation often determines the immutable social status and choice of professions for entire generations. Socializing with members of the wrong caste can make it impossible for you to work with members of the right castes. 2. The Hindu mentality is based on ancient traditions. Hinduism and Buddhism, despite all the differences, are similar in one thing: they are religions of contemplation, renunciation, philosophical and unhurried religions. Time is immaterial to them. Therefore, at their core, Hindus are in no hurry to get anywhere, and it is impossible to rely on their promises to do anything by a certain date. They're friendly, smiling and totally non-committal. For the most part, they live for today. 3. Rituals and customs. The most exotic is when a child under the age of 1 year is thrown from the roof of a 15-meter temple onto a tarpaulin stretched at the foot of the temple during a kind of baptism. If you are invited to a tree wedding, don't be surprised. If an older brother or sister hesitates to choose a life partner, they, in order not to hold back the younger ones, officially marry the tree, and after a while they divorce him. The creepiest ritual is when, after the death of her husband, the widow voluntarily agrees to self-immolation. However, this happens mostly in rural settlements or small provincial towns. But it is important to remember that in India, when greeting folded together palms and bow their heads, and shake hands with each other, as well as kissing and hugging is not accepted. You can go to jail for public displays of affection. Cows are considered sacred. They can be found right on the streets of cities, and for harming them can be imprisoned up to life. The same applies to monkeys. When eating with Indians you cannot use the left hand, it is considered unclean, because it is customary to wash after the toilet, and toilet paper is not used here. Indians love deference and titles, the more the better. They themselves use the word sir constantly, almost in every sentence, and expect a similar response. 4. Bureaucracy is one of the key problems for business development in the country. Indian bureaucrats at all levels account for 57% of official employment in the country. Without a piece of paper, you are nothing. Authorization from your superiors is required for literally everything. In this case, any request moves through the bureaucratic ladder from bottom to top, passes through many hands, and if you remember the slowness of decisions, elementary certificates, permits, licenses, which are required for literally everything, you have to wait from several weeks to 6 months and more. 5. corruption covers everything. Sometimes the process of obtaining permits can be accelerated. As they say, the strictness of laws is facilitated by the non-binding nature of their enforcement. It is estimated that Indians spend about $100 billion annually on bribes to officials. From year to year, the corruption index does not decrease. Everyone takes bribes, but political parties are especially famous for it. Whether you are ready to participate in such schemes, decide for yourself. 6. Attitude towards foreigners. A friend of mine was engaged in the delivery of a large consignment of soybeans from India for an amount of dollars with 8 zeros. The preparation and coordination of documents took several months. Before the final signature, he flew to India to personally verify the availability of the shipment. The Indians took his arrival as evidence that he had nowhere else to go and announced that the payment terms were changing and the price was going up. As a result, the contract was broken. Why did this happen? All because of the same mentality. Any foreigner in the eyes of an Indian is a rich man, and it is not considered shameful to cheat him. You have to do it right now, today, and here they prefer not to think about tomorrow at all. Even in fairly high-tech companies. This is what happened, for example, with the company Siesto Green, which produces innovative fertilizers in capsules. The company's turnover, they say, is about $100 million a year. I made contact with them and soon received a tempting offer to become the exclusive distributor of their products in 2 European countries with a potential market size of several billion. Alas, our honeymoon didn't last long. I bought a few samples for initial evaluation, received positive feedback from future customers and ordered an expanded batch of samples for a little over $1,000. And then the most interesting, but characteristic of India, began. One capsule for $4 became worth $5. That is, the price of the product, which had been included in the business plan, soared by 25% without any objective prerequisites. We decided so, the Indians explained. What are you worried about? It's only $1. At the same time, it was easy to trace on the internet that on the domestic market through online platforms, including Amazon India, which takes about 30% of the cost, the capsules retailed for $3.75. Including taxes, their retail price in the local market was half the export price in bulk. Anyone could simply enter into a cooperation with any other Indian company, buy them locally and sell the capsules in Europe at a much cheaper price for mutual benefit. Naturally, I refused to cooperate and asked for my money back for the batch of samples paid for a month earlier but never shipped. And here, pay attention. One more characteristic feature became clear: if you have paid any money to an Indian in advance, you will never be able to get it back. And so it was with Siesto Green. No refunds, I was told. And shortly afterwards, apparently to save face, they sent me completely unnecessary samples. Of course, India is a huge country and you can meet all kinds of people in it. Forewarned is forearmed. If you have enough patience and faith in the best, go ahead. Maybe you will be lucky. And if you found the information useful, give it a like and subscribe to the Academy of Business Abroad channel.